Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. So last night I was on Spotify and I thought, I'm going to check the Guess Who Spotify site because a couple of months ago, as some of you know, Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings they had a lawsuit about the Guess Who name and this latest version of the Guess Who with only one original member, Gary Peterson on drums, who isn't always in the band. So I'm not sure what's going on with the lawsuit, but I've done a couple of videos on this. And like I said, a couple of months ago, when I looked on Spotify, the the fake Guess Who, which I like to call them, they're the main photo of the Guess Who used to be them, and it was replaced with a actual photo of the original Guess Who with Burton Cummings. But last night when I went to check again, things have changed a little bit, and it's time for a rant. I don't do that many rants, believe it or not, and it really does irk me. So let's go through this. So as you see, when you first go on Spotify, the first thing I noticed was this had changed to the Guess Who with the maple leaf. And I believe this is what the current band, the Guess Who, uses for their logo. So we'll go ahead here. Okay. So yeah, it's still the without Randy Bachman, because at this time Randy Bachman had quit the band, but with Kurt Winter and Jim Cale, there's Burton Cummings. So it's still, the original Guess Who with Burton Cummings, who wrote most of the songs, which is good. So far so good. But then I see this artist pick, listen now, free by the Guess Who. It's their latest song. I didn't listen to it. And so when you go to their discography, everything's looking pretty good here. American Woman, Wheatfield Soul, another version of American Woman, Share the Land, and other Guess Who albums. So those, yeah, it's under popular releases. But when you click and go on to albums, you'll see things change. Yeah. So the Guess Who, they have this new album from last year. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. Is it? Well, I'll try. Plain d'Amour or Plain d'Amour. And I guess it's kind of like a pop rock prog album. The Guess Who did not do prog. And you'll see an earlier album by this band with no original members, like I mentioned, except for Gary Peterson on drums. And a couple of months ago, all of this had been taken off. So I don't know if they're still fighting over this lawsuit or what's going on. But and then the Guess Who, they're on tour. So they have tour dates on Spotify. And yeah, the main picture, I'm pretty sure a couple of months ago, this picture had been removed because this is the current band, the Guess Who. And like I said, Gary Peterson, the original drummer, he's been drumming with them for years and years and years. Props to him. He's on the far right, not looking too happy. And the rest of these guys, they've been this Guess Who band for a few years now. I love this too. Yeah, I'll go ahead one to read this whole thing. The Guess Who is a legendary Canadian band with a legacy that includes chart-topping hits in the late 60s and early 70s with an impressive catalog of songs. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. Very few bands have survived numerous member changes over 50 years and go on to build a fan base that spans multiple generations while continuing to create more great new music. The most recent and up-to-date version of the band has mastered a wildly entertaining romp through the early hits, which they're just a cover band for them. The Guess Who are currently on tour, supporting their latest release. Yeah, so the Guess Who is Gary Peterson, drums, and then the rest of them are... None of them are original members. Yeah, and this was from my first video I did on it. Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman from the Guess Who file $20 million lawsuit. And Burton Cummings says, they've taken mine and Randy's history, the history of the Guess Who, and stolen it to market their cheap ticket sales in their fake bull shows, Cummings said. Yeah, and then there was a picture of the guys, I guess, signing autographs. Anyone recognize these guys at the meet and greet on October 29th, 2023, from the original recordings of the Guess Who? Not one of them was in the studio during the recording of the hit songs and were probably still in diapers when all of the Guess Who hit songs were climbing up the charts. I guess the photo, Gary Peterson was, sometimes he's not touring with them. It depends on his health. So in the photo he's talking about, like I said, Gary Peterson isn't even there. Here they are accepting accolades for the band's legacy, and as the lead singer and songwriter, co-writer of the hits, I can say I don't know any of them. Not one of them could tell you the story behind any of the songs. Songs often written about personal experiences. Songs written with Bachman, Kurt, Dom, Bill, or alone. Just hired musicians trying to build their own legacy off the back of hit songs created by other people. And that's a very important line for me, because I know this current version of the Guess Who have their fans. And even in the comments section for these videos I've done, there's some people defending them. But that line, they are just hired musicians, talented, yes, trying to build their own legacy off the back of hit songs created by other people. Yeah, and I'm just questioning this too. They have a new video called Free, and it was released 2 weeks ago. And I was surprised, it has 102,000 views in 2 weeks, which is pretty good. But the question mark is, and it has 1.8 thousand, it has 1,800 thumbs up, that's it. But it only has 29 comments. You think if the video has that many views, you think, people watching it, it would have a few hundred comments at least. So that's kind of fishy. Okay, and this is I think I've shown this before, but this is a clip of I think it's what Burton Cummings was talking about who are these guys, and they're signing autographs as the Guess Who.
Canadian rock stars from the Guess Who are paying a visit to Evansville today, and we were able to have an exclusive look backstage before their show at the Old National Events Plaza. A handful of fans before the show were backstage with us for the band meet and greet. The band members tell us they are encouraging music fans to check out their new album, Plain Damn More. One band member tells us it feels awesome to be in Evansville.
It just hit me too. As some of you know, I'm a big fan of Sparks. It's no different than, some issue coming up with Sparks and Ron and Russell can't tour anymore. And you have these two other brothers touring in their place, or two other guys, and calling themselves Sparks. There's no difference. It's just ridiculous.
I love this part of the country because I'm from the country. Unlike him.
He's a city boy. He's your Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys I don't believe are even Canadian, right? Fans line up to meet the Guess Who.
The band is continuing with its cross-country tour up in Elkhart on Friday.
And then this is a little, I couldn't include the music. It's their current music anyway, but this is a little promo for their tour. Over 50 years on the road. So these band members, it is true about Gary Peterson, off and on. He's been on the road for over 50 years, but he's the only one. So, it's like false advertising. 14 top 40 hits. No, I'm sorry, you don't have 14 top 40 hits. Don't get me mad. And I think this is near the end of it. So this is the Guess Who last year performing American Woman, their #1 smash hit. I'll put on my headphones and then mute my headphones.
Can't hear you. How about this?
So as you'll notice, and for a cover band, they sound pretty good. They're not, I'm not saying anything about their talent. They have some talent. But as you notice there, Gary Peterson, he must have not been feeling good because he's not on drums. So there's not a single original member. And the original members, as you can see in this at the top, that's Gary Peterson on the far left, then Randy Bachman, Burton Cummings, and Jim Cale from the American Woman era. But none of them are on stage. So, that is it. Yeah, I just when I saw this last night on Spotify, for me, I think it's wrong. And some people, I've also heard, when they advertise their tour, sometimes it sounds like it's the original Guess Who that's going to be playing live. And they're tricking some people, right? There's gullible people out there. And there's probably people that go to these shows thinking, oh, that is the Guess Who. So yeah, I would love your thoughts on it. I know not everyone is going to agree with me. That's fine. As long as you're respectful in the comments section below. But I think most people would agree with me that I don't know why, go under a different name. Don't use the Guess Who name, because I feel it's wrong. If you're that good of a band, have your own name. Thank you. Bye.